Welcome to the Power Hour by the Center for Energy Workforce Development. My name is Concetta. I'm an electrician by trade, and I'll be your host. Well, welcome back. In part one, we learned that Liz and Kinzie got their start on their path with an organization, Utah Women in Trades. That's an organization that I'm part of, very proud of it. But I wanted to bring up that there are organizations like that all over the country.
Yeah, so in Boston, we have Boston Union Trade Sisters, also known as Butts. If you've been to any of the conferences, you'll see the stickers that say I love Butts, but it stands for Boston Union Trade Sisters. And it's a network group here in Boston.
There are groups, similar groups like that all over the country. Some of them are their own organizations. Some of them are just but some of them are the groups that have been kind of organically come together and turned into something more like Butts. But you've got, Utah Women in the Trades, you've got Chicago Women in the Trades, Washington Women in Missouri. They're across the country. So if you guys out there and gals, I guess, if you're out there and you're considering one of these careers, it'd be really good for you to search, look for groups and organizations in your area, both online and like you were saying that you guys have got like some social media online, but make a connection with one of the women in your area, and they'll help you connect with these groups that help you find both pre-apprenticeship or just another sister out there that can kind of help guide you. So I think I remember right, we wanted to talk about your Trade Women Tuesdays. You went through, you're involved with the Northeast Center
for Tradeswomen Equity.
Northeast Tradeswomen Equity. Gosh, it's a mouthful.
It is.
But it's really cool work that you do there. And you told me about the Tradeswomen Tuesdays and the work that you do there. So could you share us a little bit about what NTCE is and NTEC?
NCTE.
Thank you. NCTE is and the work that you do with them and just tell us about it.
Yeah, so NCT stands for Northeast Center for Tradeswomen Equity. That's what it stands for. And we usually have Tradeswomen Tuesday, which we have every first Tuesday of the month, which is...
Tradeswomen Tuesday is way easier for me to say.
It definitely is. And it's kind of catchy too. We have Tradeswomen Tuesday, but they also have Tradeswomen Wednesday on in the Midwest. In the western side of Massachusetts. But so in Boston, we meet every first Tuesday of the month. And we gather all the tradeswomen get together, every trade. So it could be plumbers, electricians, laborers, carpenters. Every month is usually different. You never know who's going to show up, who's available to show up as far as the tradeswomen. But then women come from off the street trying to find out about the trades. So they can speak to the women right there. Hey, what's it like? What's the good? What's the bad? What do you hate about it? What's the hardest part? What's the best part? So they can come there and ask any question at all. And so it's a good opportunity. It's a little culture shock because they're like, oh my goodness, these women are bad. They're bad. We could really talk to them. But
bad in a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't want to swear, but yeah.
That's good. That's good.
So, so it's kind of exciting. And sometimes the women come back more than once because they're like, hey, I want more information. Or I didn't get to speak to the pipe fitter, or I didn't get to speak to the painter, or, And if one of the trade sisters aren't there that they want to speak to, they can always ask someone, say, hey, can you link me up with a glazer? Because there wasn't a glazer here today. Then you could do so. And they will connect you with someone who is a glazer, a female who is a glazer. So it's really good.
Nice.
And then they do an info session into building pathways right after that. So they have an opportunity to learn about building pathways.
Great. Well, share with us let us have that learning opportunity. Could you tell us what building pathways is?
So building pathways is a pre-apprenticeship program where you get to learn the basics. And I think it's a great opportunity for if you know nothing at all about the trades, male or female, you could join Building Pathways and they'll give you, the basic math that you need to know. They'll give you interview skills. You'll go on different field trips to the different local unions and kind of get an idea of what the different trades actually do. So it's a few weeks long. They have night classes and sometimes they have day classes and sometimes they offer night classes. So it's a great opportunity. If you know nothing at all about the trades, I highly suggest you get into a pre-apprenticeship program.
Nice, nice. Sound familiar, Liz and Kinzie? We use the same curriculum and add our local flair here at Utah Women in Trades, and that's the program that I went to. So, all right. So when it comes to, I just kind of want to double back. So you have the building pathways, you have the Trade Women Tuesdays, and then you have the Butt Sisters,
Boston Union
Boston
Trade,
Union Trade
Trade
Sisters.
Sisters.
Got it. It's butts. And I kind of want to touch base. So you have all of these things that women are doing. You've got the women in the trades that are volunteering for these Trade Women Tuesdays. You've got you know, the women's group butts that are going. Could you tell us a little bit about just kind of with all of that sisterhood, what are some of the things that you guys really do to kind of keep the connection with each other and keep I guess the momentum going with all this that you're doing?
So we do a lot of things. We do a lot of charity events, whether it be blood drive or donations for the children in foster care. We have a gala once a year, which is pretty cool. We have cookouts. Sometimes we meet up with the Western Mass tradeswomen for their cookout or brunch. Sometimes we just have a night out just to hang out. We do bowling, skating. We've done skating. We've done double dutch. We've done a little bit of everything. Self-defense class.
And
So
this is all the different trade sisters, right?
all trade sisters, no matter what trade, we all get together and we just put it out there on the page. And the page is really if you're in the trades. If you're not in the trades, then we don't allow. And you have to be a female because we want people to be comfortable asking questions. And you can ask any question at all. It could be, what's the combination to the bathroom lock? Or where's their parking at this job site? Pretty much anything. What kind of shoes, what comfortable boots do you have? What do you suggest starting out, or gloves, or anything? You can ask anything at all.
Right. So for those of you out there, just know regardless of where you find your fit, which trade you're going to find your fit, you're going to have a connection to all of the other trade sisters out there. So just know that no matter which fit you have, you'll have this team. So if you pick a trade that maybe there's less women in that particular trade, just know you have these organizations in these ways to connect with other sisters out there to get that support structure. So when you're considering which one's right for you, just know that you'll have the support regardless of your choice. So when it comes to trade discovery, Janaya, before we move on, I just wanted to ask how important are these pre-apprenticeships and mentorship? Like, just give us a little bit about your feelings on why we need them. How is it important it is for the folks out there watching this to tap into them, to get on the right path when they choose a trade. Could you just kind of share with us your thoughts on that?
I think it's good to do the pre-apprenticeship. I think it's super important to do the pre-apprenticeship, especially if you don't know anything about any of the trades or construction at all. It really does give you a good intro as to what the trades do. And I highly suggest you speak to someone who's in each individual trade as well. As far as mentorship, yeah, I think it's huge. Didn't really have a lot of mentorship. I think the people who mentored me I had two older gentlemen. One's no longer with us, one is still here, but really took me by the hand and said, hey, this is how you do this. But mentorship is huge. That's why I do it all the time. That's why I volunteer to mentor, women on and off the job. I'm usually on my phone all the time.
Yeah, I totally agree. The important role it plays. I think I heard Liz or Kenzie chime
Yeah,
in.
I was just gonna say, like I said, the trades weren't really even on my radar, so I wouldn't even have I probably wouldn't have I would have never went into the trades, and not because I didn't want to, or but that's just not something that's suggested to us very often, right? Like people don't bring that up. I didn't know about unions. I didn't know about anything. Like I didn't know anything about the trades until that program was recommended to me. So I think it's super important that it helps us see that that is an option for us, because it's just a lot of times people don't suggest that, or we don't think about it because it's just not presented to us how it is to men, or young men, or so yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Liz, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I do. Like even knowing which direction I wanted to go, I didn't know anybody in that world, so it was vital to go to that pre-apprenticeship and network, and yeah, just kind of figure out how to get in. That's what I wanted to know. So yeah, even if you do or don't know which trade you want to get into, like the pre-apprenticeship, it looks great to employers as well. It says that you're serious. And you can also just figure out what you want to do and meet people, and yeah, I'd say it's vital.
Right. Okay, Kinzie, we've kind of looked at this a little bit, but you were leaning, like considering a couple different trades, and what trades were you considering, and how did you ultimately land on electrical?
I was considering HVAC was one. And then I think just like laborers in general, I was thinking about like joining a labor union. I decided to go with electrical because I'm somebody who gets bored easy. I get bored very easy, and then I just get burnt out. So with electrical, you have the physical aspect. You're still climbing, doing all kinds of stuff, but you also have like a lot of mental stimulation. Like you have to think a lot. So that's how I kind of came to my decision. Also, just like we're short on electricians. Everybody knows that. Like we need a lot of electricians. It's a big push right now. So it's a pretty stable career. And with me being a single mom, um, that's super important to me, obviously. It's important to everybody, but I have a little one that I'm responsible for. So
Right, right. Um, so I think that the why I asked that question is it's going to be a little bit different for each of us, why we chose the trades that we were in. And did do you feel like you made the right choice? Do you like feel like that those internal things are the things that you like, and combined with now what you've been doing out in the field, do you feel like that's the right choice for you?
Absolutely, yes. I love the work. That's never anything that I question. I question just like we all do, like, oh, am I capable of doing this? Like, just like you get those thoughts, but I love the work. I love what I do. I think it's very interesting. Like I said, like electricity is freaking cool. It's like dark magic. I don't know. It's like magic. It's insane how it
It
works.
is.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
I still call it magic, yeah.
It is. It's dark magic. They all make fun
Yeah.
of me when I say that. They're like, it's science. I'm like, but it's still kind of like magic.
Yeah,
So
they still haven't completely explained it, so
yeah,
it's magic.
It's their best guess. No, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, funny. All right. So, Liz, you knew you wanted to be a line worker. Do you think that some of the things that you learned in your pre-apprenticeship helped reinforce that?
Yeah, it's funny, I was kinda, like, going on a dream, like, I definitely idealized it, and I was like, "Wow, like, it'd be so cool to be a lineman and get to climb stuff," and it was very, yeah, I idealized things a lot, and so to realize the day-to-day, like, I'm still super glad I chose it, but it's real now. It's hard. Every week's
So,
a challenge, but that's why I did it.
when we're talking about pre-apprenticeships, you not only did the building trades, the Karen Main pre-apprenticeship with Utah Women in Trades, you also afterwards went and did a line pre-apprenticeship with Prime Line, right? Prime Line
Yes,
Academy.
up in, Burley, Idaho.
Yeah, so you
Hey,
picked
friend.
up, physically
Wow.
moved to a different
Yeah,
state
yeah.
for 3
I was, like, so
months.
excited about it that I was like, "I'm moving." Yeah.
See, that says a lot right there. And but it's what I've learned through kind of watching you through the process. That's just one of the things that you had to do to be competitive in the career path that you chose as this is what I want to do. And so tell us a little bit about your experience, like going through yet another pre-apprenticeship, because there's going to be some folks out there who, are coming into the energy industry, which is what we're talking about, and they're looking at those line careers. And we're saying, you can go to these pre-apprenticeship programs, but if you're looking for something like a line program, it's like part of the normal process. Can you tell us what what you learned?
Yeah. So if anyone is thinking about doing line work, line school looks great on your resume. It says you're serious, that you want it. And then you can also get your CDL in line school, which employers love because then they don't have to pay for you to get it at their company. So, it just shows that you took initiative and you got your CDL and you learned about the materials and the processes and the equipment. It was great. It was also weird being the only woman there as well, though. They told me I was the third woman ever to go to Primeline. I saw that there was one more after me, so there's been four. They've been open for like 4 years now, I think. So one woman a year average. Yeah, that was different. And it was cold. I went in the winter. So I'm like all alone in this new town in the winter, like only woman. It was it was a trip. But I learned a ton. Yeah, we climbed every day. I got to run like backhoes and line trucks and bucket trucks, like all for the first time in my life. I was like working alongside guys who grew up on farms, and so that stuff was normal to them. And it that was another humbling thing is like working alongside like 18-year-old, 20-year-old guys who know so much more than you. It was really cool. But it was also a confidence boost to know like I can climb and I can keep up. Um, so yeah, if you are thinking about line school, do it. There's if you're in Salt Lake, Slick has a line school, so you don't have to up and move to Idaho. Um, yeah, there's lots of options. So
Yeah, look in your area. You can contact your local IBEW uh, local unions, and they can usually tell you what the line schools in the area that maybe the employers or your utility find out which line schools that they pull their groundmen and apprentices out of. They're usually all pretty intertwined. So sometimes if you go to a certain line school, if you want to work either with a certain utility or a certain local, they can usually tell you what line schools they've been seeing really good candidates come out of, and they're giving you suggestions there. But it's definitely very competitive. It's not for the faint of heart. So, and I don't know, Janaya, do you see a lot? Well, maybe not a lot, but do you see women out there on the job sites where you're at?
We definitely see a lot more than when I started 28 years ago. Definitely see a lot more women. But like I explained to the women, sometimes it's not made for everyone, you know. You definitely have to have some type of thick skin in this business, you know. There's going to be really, really hard days, you know, and you're going to be like, oh my God, what am I doing? This hurts, you know, like you're going to be working out muscles that you're not accustomed to working. But, you know, I always say it's like the gym, you know, it hurts, but if you want good results, you know, you got to keep working at it. So it's very similar, you know. So you either drop out and don't see the results, or you do, and the results is that paycheck in this situation. So you know, you can't. I mean, it's like a win-win. You know, you're learning a trade, you're getting a workout on, and you're getting paid good money.
Yeah, I don't think you remember all the challenging parts. I had I had someone tell me one time that her daughter was asking about, she was pregnant for the first time, and every step of the way was asking her mom, "Do you remember this? Do you remember that?" And then she gave birth, and she's like, "Do you remember?" She's like, "I don't remember any of it. I don't remember it. We would never have another child if we remembered every part of it." And I think some of the challenges that we go through is kind of like the same way. When you're on the other side of it,
Yeah.
you're like, it may have been a big deal at the time, or really, you know, intense at the time, but then after the fact, you're like, but here we are.
So I remember an experience where it was myself and another trade sister, and one of our friends is just doing the trades. And she was like, I have a whole new respect for you guys in the work boots. And I'm like, out of all things, she's talking about work boots, like not the heavy pipes or anything, but the work boots. And she, we don't even think about that anymore. But, once upon a time, we were like, we have to get accustomed to these boots, find out which one's the right fit, what brand, and, if it has a heel or not. So, but yeah, you don't even think about it half the time. But out of all
Yeah.
the boots.
Yeah, I had a mentor right at the very beginning say, you're going to need two things in this trade, a good pair of boots and a good bed, because if you ain't in one, you'll be in the other. So, but yeah, today I wouldn't think of boots. That was my challenge.
Right.
It's so funny. All right, we got time to take a question here. And if we got one coming up, Joanne KS asks, Kinzie and Liz, how were you recruited for the pre-apprenticeship program? Let's start with you, Kinzie. How were you recruited?
So I was going to DWS, which is Department of Workforce Services. I was in between. I had to step away from the job that I was at. So I was in between jobs, and I was like actively looking for a job, and they gave me your guys' card. I think I called you, Concetta, I'm pretty sure. And I'm pretty sure that's it. I went and I met you at the library. We did a little interview and we started. So.
All right. All right. How about you, Liz?
Yeah, I just Googled, Utah Women in Trades, popped right up. I applied on the website. And then a few months later, I heard back and you guys were doing interviews a couple of days in May. So signed up for a slot there, had a panel discussion with, like Lisa from Pacific Core, someone from like what was it? What was that construction company?
Oakland. We had our advisory board that does the panel interviews.
Yeah. So there's some like 4 people from different trades, and they kind of see like why you want to get in and what you hope to do, and so past that, and then started the next month.
Yeah, I think your guys, our panels are different all the time. They're different trades, sometimes different employers, but we had our local larger utility on our panel, interview panel. We have usually some union representatives there, but and a lot of these programs do the same thing is they try to get you, like that interview was the start of you getting conditioned for the steps you will have to take to get started in some of these programs. And so just know that you're pretty much interviewing the whole time because you're working with people in the industry as you go through that program. And so you're building those relationships from day one in any of those programs, whether you show up to a Tradeswomen Tuesday and then later go on to building pathways. You're going to be around the people that you start with. So Bridget D asks, what kind of jobs or projects would you love to work on eventually? Ooh, this is a great question. Kinzie.
I really want to work at the zoo. They have electricians at the zoo, and I really want to do that. I'm an animal lover, obviously. It's well known at all the job sites. Every time I'm like a zookeeper at the job site. So I hope that one day I get to work at the zoo or like something like that, like an aquarium, something really cool like that.
Nice. Janaya, do you have something?
So one of the big projects that I was able to work on was the Big Dig, which was a highway literally over the whole city. And then what they did was the Big Dig was literally the highway going under the city. So a massive hole. It was a huge, huge job. I could tell you about the back walls, the tunnels under the tunnels. It was a massive, massive job. And the other job I would say would be the convention center here in Boston, which was a very huge project also that I went to. But I'm always amazed at the different jobs that I land sometimes. Sometimes the interior jobs are pretty cool with the electrical work and, some of the charities, job sites too. It's really nice.
I actually wanted to work on the Big Dig. I just didn't think at the time that I was going to hit the road and go find other places to work, I didn't think the timing was right for me to be able to get out on the big dig. I think it was starting on its downward. So yeah, that was a project that I actually wanted to work on, was the big dig out there.
Yeah.
Liz, what about you?
Well, as soon as you see the lineman get dropped off by helicopter, you're like, yeah, I want to do that. But it's funny, a lot of guys are like, yeah, you do it a couple times, and then it just becomes a really loud way to get to work. So, but yeah, I think that would be fun. The helicopter job. We'll see if I get there. I will say it's surprisingly fun to go buy a Maverick that you helped power, like a new Maverick, and be like, yeah, I set up that Maverick. So just little things too, like it's funny what you enjoy afterward.
Nice. Well, we're going to kind of do a quick kind of lightning round because we're out of time, but I wanted to kind of go quickly. If you had one piece of advice for somebody who wanted to get into your trade, what would you tell them? Janaya, let's start with you.
Yeah, so the one piece of advice I would give is when you get into your trade, really learn everything that you possibly can learn. And don't be afraid to ask any questions. There's no stupid question. Ask as many questions as you'd like and learn everything that you can about that particular trade. And you'll be good. Stay at it.
Nice. And how about you, Kinzie?
Take it seriously from the job. Make sure you're paying attention in school. Make sure it's what you want to do, because there's days it's going to bring you to your knees. So it takes a lot of grit.
All right. How about you, Liz?
Yeah, my advice is be nice to yourself, because my brain always goes to like, oh, what if I fail? But turn it around and say, what if I succeed?
There you go. That's all great advice. Well, I want to thank you guys for being on with me tonight. I know it's sometimes kind of hard, especially when you're really new, to talk about what you're doing. You're like, I don't even know what I'm doing, and you want me to talk about it. And
Yeah.
so we really do appreciate it. And Janaya, I appreciate having somebody with your experience on here as well. Some of the things that I wanted to kind of highlight here is people like Janaya, myself. There's a lot of other tradeswomen out there that want to help mentor people just like you that are wanting to get started in a trade. So we have the PowHERful Women Mentorship Program that you could be a part of, and we'll connect you with another tradeswoman to kind of help you, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel on your path. They'll just kind of help you, take you down the path that's best fit for you and help you discover those things. So we want to make sure that you guys are aware of that. And we thank you for all the questions, the great questions. And make sure you join us next time. We're going to start focusing on some different trades. So we're going to be talking to our plumbers and pipe fitters and welders. And we're going to just get them, they're going to group up together and probably gang up on me. And so that's who we've got next. So watch out for that one. And again, if you're interested at all at starting one of the trades, let's get you signed up to be a mentee in the PowHERful Women Mentoring Program, where we can connect you with somebody that you can have those conversations with in your area. Preferably, we're going to try to hook you up that you know the local ins and outs. So you guys all have a good night. Thank you for joining Power Hour. Join our live Power Hours at higherpower.org. Share Higher Power with anyone considering energy industry careers. And don't forget to subscribe. You can also listen to Higher Power wherever you get your podcasts, and join us next week for another Power Hour.